Noguchi and Hasegawa, in their own words. Saburo Hasegawa and Isamu Noguchi met in 1950 and developed a profound connection.
I think most of you know the name of Isamu Noguchi, the Japanese-American sculptor.
Voice of Saburo Hasegawa.
When he came back to Japan, more than 20 years absence, I took him round in Japan when we were at the Sun Rock Garden. He was so impressed, he whispered to me, "Mr. Hasegawa, this is terrific."
Change. Hasegawa, when I met him, was already turning away from his previous interest in European culture and art toward a rediscovery of his own country. Isamu Noguchi.
I changed with the work. I mean, so much is today, what they call conceptual. I consider conceptual things as a base. That's where you start from. But the discovery is in the accidents and all sorts of things that happen which make you change your mind. I'm never absolutely fixed about anything.
I love the old abstract art of Japan. And I am really trying to do the revival of it. But more and more, I begin to believe this could be done and had to be done in the way which has international scale. I would like to make the revival of Japanese abstract art of the past in international scale.
Space. The most significant and fundamental feature of Noguchi's work is that it possessed a spatial beauty. Saburo Hasegawa.
I once concerned myself with working with space. I used to watch Martha Graham's dance classes and became more and more conscious of the sense of sculpture as a part of the landscape and a part of moving bodies. I go from one piece to the next. It's a continuous development. It's not something that I have intellectually arrived at as a way of doing things.
Materials. His deep and candid affection for his materials allowed him to make the best of them, whether it is earth or stone. Saburo Hasegawa.
How to dispose rock in our modern time. You have a building like that made of concrete. You have some relation of rock here to the building, which is Mr. Breuer's a specialty in a way. He's very much interested in use of granite, you see. So it is quite natural that I should then bring into the garden this granite use, this natural stone, which you find in Japan. And then I combine it with a piece of concrete, which then becomes a seat, you see. Now, even concrete can be used like rocks.
Abstract art is something that we can really grasp. After living with it long time, searching for the real meaning long time, practicing, and one day, one moment in our life, we can grasp the real meaning.
I decided to do these metal sculptures, having come back from doing the UNESCO garden. I wanted to do things in metals because, after all, it's unreasonable to do stones in New York. So we got to work doing metal sculptures and got the metal from the aluminum company and did a whole show, Shoji and I, in very quick order. But that was a long time ago, 58. Galleries would say, well, this is too commercial, you see. And so I had difficulty showing it at the time. Couldn't show it till about 61 or 2, around in there. But now you find metal sculptures everywhere. but that's the way it was then. If you want to live and work in an industrialized situation, you have to use industrial materials and tools, you see. However, I was not quite satisfied with that because I felt the limitations of such, tools, forced one to be a part of industry, rather than free. And I felt that the more old-fashioned way of doing things, for instance with stone, with your own hands, left you greater freedom. And so I went back to stone.
Time. When a work is original and emulates no others, it is new. Isamu, Noguchi.
So, I gyrate between today and yesterday and tomorrow, I mean, between Japan and New York, and, it's fantastic, the gyrations we have. And we don't only live in today, but we live in the past, too, because we cannot just be, a futurist or a sort of immediatist, We are, multiple people. Our whole past and education makes us into a much more rich mosaic, than just a thing.
Our tradition is not dying. It is not dying, but it is not living with vigor as it had before. And I'm wondering about the reason every day. And so far, my conclusion is that, including me, modern Japanese had lost the philosophical background.
Sometimes I think I'm part of this world of today. Sometimes I feel that maybe I belong in history or in prehistory, or that there is no such thing as time. But if you're caught in time, or the immediate present time, then your choice is very limited. You can only do certain things really correctly belonging to that time, you see. But if you want to escape from that time constraint, then the whole world, you see, I mean, not just the most industrialized world, but the whole world is someplace where you belong.
Plays. Zen was our particular interest, and with him ceremonial tea. Hasegawa would tell me of Zen poet Ryokan-san with special pleasure. Isamu, Noguchi.
What does one enjoy going to Japan? It's not museums, it's not paintings that you do see occasionally, which are very beautiful, of course, but the real pleasurable times that one has to do with gardens. And so I wanted, as a sculptor, to work with gardens, and I felt, in fact, that it was a sculptor's work. That is, a sculpture as a disposition of shape in relation to the landscape.
And I think, and I believe that Zen is one of the philosophies which influenced development of old Japanese abstract art. Once there were two young monks who were discussing a flag in the wind. One of them said, "It is the flag who is moving." The other said, "No, it is the wind which is making the flag move." They kept on discussing. After a while, there came an elder monk. "You are both wrong. It is your heart, your mind, which is moving."